Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking, I never did. I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English.
I don't know, man. He's so badass.
Lots of big celebrities here tonight. I mean, legends, icons. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist.
Ricky Gervais is one of the most outspoken people in the industry today, but the comedian's honesty and fearlessness seems to have landed him in hot waters. This time, he has decided to expose Hollywood completely, all apparently disguised as jokes.
Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel.
After the Office star exposed some of the darkest secrets of Hollywood, it seems like the industry elites are now after him. If there's someone who wouldn't quiet down, though, it's Ricky, and the elites know it. As Joe Rogan says,
I don't know, man. He's so bad. He might be able to do whatever the fuck he wants. You know, he's Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais made an enemy out of the whole industry when he hosted the Golden Globes and gave a shocking speech back in 2020. Now, 3 years after his dangerous monologue at the award show, there are claims Gervais fears for his life as the list of his enemies grows longer by the day. Apparently, Ricky had no option but to tighten up security and lay low. Sources close to the comedian stated, Ricky is very aware of the dangers, and he can afford whatever security he wants, so he thought it was a no-brainer. Ricky also talked about how every day he gets closer to meeting his demise. Could this mean he fears being over his controversial statements against the Hollywood elites? Every day I'm closer to death. Every day is a bigger percentage of the rest of your life, and we don't know what percentage that will be. If I die tomorrow, today was 50%. It seems like the consequences of speaking up against the powerful people from Hollywood is finally catching up with Gervais. Gervais appears to have also realized that his speech has landed him in much greater trouble than he can handle. The Golden Globes is one of the most prestigious award shows out there, recognizing and rewarding the best performances in film and television worldwide. It's a huge deal in Hollywood, so you can expect all the big names of the industry to be in attendance on this night. Ricky Gervais had been hosting the night for 5 years, and in 2020 again, Ricky was one of its hosts.
Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you.
Everyone expects the host to be enthralled by the opportunity, but Gervais had too many opportunities by this time, and he decided to no longer hold back his actual thoughts on some important matters. As soon as his intro started, people in the audience started to shift in their seats, because when Ricky says he doesn't care anymore, you know he's going to reveal everything.
I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking, I never did.
In his 8-minute monologue, Ricky managed to expose the ugliest side of Hollywood. He brought up some of the most horrifying things about the industry that the elites try to cover up. He started off by bringing up Felicity Huffman's college admissions scandal.
The license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for.
Felicity had paid huge bribes to get her daughter a place at a good college, hence taking the seat of some other deserving student. She accepted her punishment, but this incident was just another reminder of how the Hollywood elites abuse their power at every stage of their lives. She spoke on her ruling and said, "I accept the court's decision today without reservation," Huffman said at the time of her sentencing. "I have always been prepared to accept whatever punishment Judge Talwani imposed. I broke the law. I have admitted that, and I pleaded guilty to this crime. There are no excuses or justifications for my actions, period." He then brought up the scandal that completely opened Hollywood at the time. Ricky talked about Jeffrey Epstein and made a joke about how the sex offender had hanged himself in prison.
In the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Epstein was a financier arrested on charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking. What looked like every other sex trafficking case quickly spiraled out of control as more details about the case were revealed. Epstein was no usual citizen with a criminal record. His high-profile social circle made it clear how he got away with his crimes for so long. He had ties with Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Prince Andrew. Comedian Chris Tucker and Kevin Spacey, too, had their fair share of perks because of their close relationship with the offender. Spacey had to testify about his association with Epstein, where he tried to deny it and stated, "I was now being talked about as if I knew Jeffrey Epstein, as though I was some important and powerful friend of his. And because I'd been on this airplane, I had actually flown to what was being called Island. And while it is true that I met Jeffrey Epstein on that trip, I never saw him again, and I have never been to any island." Epstein isn't the only offender who had strong ties with the elites in the industry. Many big names from Hollywood have been directly involved in sex trafficking and have been sentenced for it. The most prominent name belongs to Harvey Weinstein, the hotshot film producer who was once regarded as one of the best Hollywood film producers at the time. Gervais brought up Weinstein and how the whole industry had conspired to protect him by keeping silent. At this point, the audience were at the edge of their seats as nobody knew what was coming next. Gervais definitely didn't stop here and continued making pointers at some of the biggest names in the industry. The Office's star roasted Leonardo DiCaprio and his tendency to date women so young they could have been his daughters.
Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So...
As the Titanic star grows older and older, his dates seem to be only getting younger. But once again, this isn't a problem limited to DiCaprio alone. So many men and women from the industry prey on young boys and girls. Hollywood's culture of pedophilia and child abuse isn't a new story. In fact, there have been horrifying accounts of child abuse from young stars. Corey Feldman, star of iconic 80s films Goonies, Stand By Me, and The Lost Boys, spoke about the abuse that he and his friend faced at the hands of Hollywood elites. They would throw these parties where you'd walk in and it would be mostly kids and there would be a handful of adult men. They would also be at the film awards and children's charity functions. Ricky once talked about how the woke culture in the industry had enabled pedophiles to be more bold and fearless in their crimes. This wasn't all. Ricky then went on to address the racism that is deeply rooted in Hollywood. He wasn't shy to admit that the whole system is rigged against people of color.
Many talented people of color were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist.
The comedian looked in no mood of slowing down as he made attack after attack at the Hollywood elites. He finished off his speech by calling out all the actors who win awards and then make long preaching speeches. He claimed no one had the right to do that, as long as they were working for platforms that exploit people.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
Gervais' speech might have left the actors and director in the audience speechless and nervous, but he sure has won the hearts of people. Fans are applauding Ricky for having the courage to speak up about the truth. One person called the comedian's Golden Globe monologues one of the best speeches. Ricky Gervais' Golden Globe brutally honest observations about Hollywood is still one of the best speeches in modern times. Another mentioned that it's shocking Ricky and his career haven't already been destroyed after his scandalous speech. Ricky Gervais laid bare all the dirty little secrets of the Hollywood and ruling elite in a mere 8 minutes. I'm surprised he hasn't been canceled. The hate speech I see on here now is from TRAs. Others think that Ricky might be crossing the limit and getting into a bigger mess than he can handle with his speeches. One person wrote, "I am certainly not one to promote violence, but these comedians have, for too long, danced on the line with their jokes." For example, Ricky Gervais' Golden Globe monologue. A good reminder to watch your mouth. Fans think the comedian should be more careful with what he says. After all, the elites can easily end his life if he continues to publicly call them out the way he did. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.